Hey, wow, big news today, KJ, and let's simplify the issues here. Number one, England lose a world-class manager due to interference from the guys above him. To me, it's a crushing loss, and that to me is still the most important issue.
Yes, absolutely. Obviously, they were, there was friction there in the camp way before this John Terry saga started. To me, I think it's a matter of this. Fabio Capello wanted an out. He vocally, publicly went against this. It was a declaration of interest for definitely in the inside of the John Terry in the RAI interview that took place on Sunday prior to going to the Chelsea-Manchester United game. I don't think Fabio Capello would have made that interview prior to the World Cup, for example. Right. For me, that he was absolutely tired of the new FA under the regime of David Bernstein. And I think that he knew this was coming to a head, and I think this was a convenient time for him to leave. Some
may say he's just a stubborn autocrat, but of course he is. So is Alex Ferguson. Great managers are autocrats, and the FA knew they had that when they hired him. The second issue here, though, is John Terry. Without John Terry's drama controversy, he'll still be England coach, likely. Now, Terry should not escape accountability, in my opinion, here. And not should Capello. He made the captaincy issue the issue. Capello could have just said, all right, fine, I'm going to pick him still, I'll find another captain. He chose not to. But John Terry, again, it just seems to attract trouble, and this time he's kicked out another gaffer through very different means to the way he usually does.
Right, and John Terry was Fabio Capello's man. I mean, you have to remember that only two years ago this very week, Fabio Capello was the man who made that decision to strip John Terry of the captaincy over the whole Wayne Bridge saga, and he said at that time in his quote, it was the better interest of England's football team. He was his man still to that point that a year later, when the Rio Ferdinand story came out, he reinstated him. So, yes, of course, Terry is the main man in focus into the blame of this. But that being said, I think that it's clear that Fabio Capello, the football manager, felt his team was the best team under the guidance of John Terry. And he still felt that today, and that's his right as a football manager. However, also it is the FA's right, in the clause in the contract that Capello signed in 2007, to decide that as well. And Capello knew that for many years, and only now decided to speak out publicly against it.
Absolutely. So the next question, of course, is, all right, who's next? Now, Harry Redknapp, this week, in fact, today, was cleared of all charges in his tax evasion trial, which is massive news because the FA have basically said, our new manager will be English. There's good foreign ones out there still. Gus Hiddink, Rafa Benitez is out there. There's some big names, successful names, but they want to go English, in which case there isn't many options. Redknapp at Spurs right now is the best option. Right now, English bookies have taken his name off any betting. They think he's odds-on in this point to be the next England manager. Is he the right choice?
Long term, I think he is the right choice for the reasons that the mandates that the English FA have spoken out against about that. I don't personally think that it is. I think you're going from, like you called him, a world-class manager. Fabio Capello is a man who demands tremendous amount of respect. His resume is absolutely fantastic. Obviously, 7 different Serie A titles for 3 different clubs, Champions League. It's in a different league, a different world than a Harry Redknapp, let's be honest here. But that being said, Harry Redknapp, I do believe long-term will be the manager. However, this loophole that has now been given to the FA, this surprising loophole today with today's news, does open the possibility for me of going out there and get another non-English manager for that tournament only, whether it be a Gus Hiddink or a Rafa Benitez. And that is a real prospect. A manager going in there knowing that he can deal with these players for just a small amount of time, have nothing after it, worry about it, and leave. That is a good prospect for a manager like Hiddink, for example,
it is.
who's done it in the past.
But then you get the whole lame duck issue, perhaps, with that manager. Perhaps. That being said, it's still maybe one of the best jobs in world football because it pays so well. Capello, £6 million a year. I doubt the next guy gets that.
Not even
it's
close.
Good money.
I also don't think it's one of the best jobs in world football either. I think it's one of the worst jobs. I really do, James. To me, it's about the players.
Yeah, you're right.
Fabio Capello was blamed after 2010 in the World Cup, and it was absolutely ridiculous. It's about football players. They didn't get battered by Germany because of Fabio Capello. It was because the likes of Glenn Johnson and Matthew Upson were on the football field.
Money, 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 money. That's why it's so great. Check out the Footy blog, by the way, as this story continues to unfold.